my dears artists friends, and in this video you'll discover my watercolor patterns to print for Easter, and I will show you how I used them in my own journal pages, along with vintage ephemera, modern papers, and even an Easter chocolate egg bag packaging, and maybe sketching? Feel free to tune on Patreon to download my watercolor patterns for free and use them for your personal use. Also, stay tuned along the video as life and the creative process kind of led me to an unexpected journey and results for these journal pages. Enjoy! So maybe it's going to be a new step in my creative journey, who knows? So yes, I created some watercolor patterns. I have had this idea for a while, you know, because I am creating stickers and prints these days for my Patreon to create creative, nice, happy mail for people. That it could be fun to kind of try to create craft creative papers, and I decided to follow a tutorial that I will put the link down below if you're interested in the process to try to create some patterns from my watercolors. I am a total beginner, so I'm not sure what to think about it. Is it a bit kitschy, you know, too much colors and elements in the patterns, or is it quite fun, nice and joyful? You'll tell me, but it's a real pleasure for me to release this for free to celebrate Easter, so feel free to get to the link down below on my Patreon and you will be able to access these as free printables to use in your sketchbooks and journals. I printed these on 120 GSM paper. I think this paper is really cool because it's kind of a normal paper, but at the same time it's thick enough so that it doesn't show through and it doesn't wrinkle easily, and also it's so smooth and nice. But anyway, be careful when printing them to set your printer into, you know, high quality printing and not just the random. It's a random paper and a low quality printing, because if you do that, the contrast and color won't be that great and it will be kind of dull and grayish. You really have to choose a setting on your printer to say, yeah, this is good quality paper and I want a good quality print so that it looks good. So I am going to have a lot of fun using these in my journals now, and hopefully to inspire you to do the same. So I am picking the next page on my journal. I usually putting a clip to hold a bit of the page, and that's it. So I created first these, and then thinking about, you know, me using these papers on my sketchbook, I thought maybe I would need something a bit more plain or abstract, so that's why I created these sheets with also nice watercolor designs, but more subtle, you know, to be with this and to have some kind of a coordinate paper. This one, I think the design is a bit less modern, but I felt it was a bit like more a vintage design, so I'm going to start making a kind of a vintage page using also some other kind of books and vintage ephemera that I like to collect for me and to send in my happy mail. So I think all these papers, you know, kind of a vintage feeling, could look really good with the hand print and maybe a kind of vintage fun little character as well. So I want to do a page like this. And by the way, my friend Michelle on Patreon just sent me a wonderful gift package with a watercolor homemade sketchbook and all kind of lovely stuffs. Thank you so much, it's so amazing. And so the homemade sketchbook was wrapped in this kind of vintage like tissue paper as well, with a nice bit of a floral thing. So I think this could be also really nice to do something on my page. So I usually like to kind of have a bit of a paper being in here to the left on the page. Maybe because the hands are looking a bit that direction, I'm going to start by cutting it a bit in here. Woo-hoo-hoo. That way, and also I use a kind of a corner thing like that, and this is going to be perfect to start my craft. 1, 2, 3. Yay! Yoo-hoo! I really like how these go together. I really like how tearing the paper make us focus, I think, on the pattern rather than the edges, and it makes it more organic and pretty, I think. So yeah, let's tear it! So here is the first page I created with a vintage style. So it was so fun to use my own designs along with some modern stickers, you know, with the same color scheme. So I sticked to kind of a brownish paper with yellow and red, just a few touch of green. And yes, using some genuine handwriting of a vintage notebook in my sketchbook and some things from the mail that Michelle sent me. You know, all this kind of stuff, modern and vintage, and adding little character. It was, yes, really fun to do, slightly different, that's my style. You know, some days it can be more colorful, some days a bit more like kind of a vintage style, and so this is for the first page of using mine. And so looking forward to see what you will do with these. Ooh, please show me. So now I think I'm going to make a page, especially using the green well, yeah, especially using the daisies with a green background, maybe a bit also this one, kind of a soft atmosphere, soft spring atmosphere, or maybe a few rabbit stamps, because yeah, I bought a few really cute stamps for Easter, you know, to decorate the envelopes for my IP mail or for my sketchbook and something. So I think this could look really nice with the daisies. In here I was experimenting with some prints, so I created this pattern using this watercolor and, you know, just isolating one or two designs and then using it repeatedly in order to create the pattern. And I decided to stick to kind of a more pastel scheme in here, and also I'm going to search maybe for a few other paper with a green pastel color scheme. So one day I have to show you this. I created a rainbow file with kind of a nice, you know, pieces of paper that I have from my scrap thing, and it's so joyful, you know, just to browse, and it's really handy for me to search for kind of a nice color. So I even have, you know, the thing for the art store for the painting stuff. So maybe I can pick a few little things in here that could go really well with the green scheme. For example, these little flowers. So the green is slightly brighter, but it would work really well. Also, this soft paper has a bit of the same shades, and you can tell that I already put together, you know, some papers and items that could go really well together. So it's so nice to create. Once you have this, you know, all the job is almost done. I also kept this packaging from chocolate the other day that I thought was really cute, also flower oriented but with a vintage style, and I think the color scheme is nice, so maybe just a little piece so that the yellow is not overpowering for the rest, but this could be cute to use. Oh, and look at this with the transparency. I really have to try this right away. So here we are, and keeping only one side. I am wondering how this is going to look on my page the way I am imagining it. So look at that. So I don't know if I would put it at the top like this or just with a bit underneath. Yeah, this looks so cute. Look. The only thing I don't like for now is that I stick to one page. I like my design to go through the gutter. Maybe this cutie could be nice as well. This is so cute. There's just something working in here. Hey, and I thought about using some of these. Yeah, so this one would be so cute in here. Just a final touch. And I just bought some new inks recently to be able to have a good quality colorful inks. So yeah, I think this is going to be perfect with the color scheme, maybe slightly more blue, but the eye is not working. I can add it later anyway. Yay. So but this can be fixed just with the perfect pen. Woohoo! I also really like this one, and I'm going to stamp it on a yellow page, yellowish page, so that I can put it in here without having the flower through. So yeah, indeed there is a bit of a problem with the eyes. It's to push us to draw. Here we are, or maybe it's because we can choose to make them cute eyes. Here we are! And then to create my third page with a colorful egg watercolor pattern, I started by searching other papers that could be color coordinated or having kind of a nice party feeling, and then life happened. I started by attaching the pattern to create like a pocket on the page, and also with a blue paper with a dot at the top, a bit like a flap page that you could open and close and hide things underneath and everything. Then you know how life is. Kids arrived and we went in the garden and doing some things, and I was like, I don't know when I will be able to finish my pages and everything. And at some point the little one put this old plush, sunshine a bit just near me with this clematis plant, and I was like, wow, that's cool, I really want to draw this with the new pen that I just received this afternoon. And so my inspiration really took another turn. I really liked beforehand the collage pages that I did, but first I was thinking I would make them incomplete in order to keep some room for sketching sketching during Easter, and maybe I went, you know, a bit further than I thought in the process, so there were not so much space left. But for me, you know, my pages are so much more interesting when I include some sketching. So in here, finally, I was inspired in the garden to catch a few things that could be a bit like the Easter decor for this year. Just a few random things that are in the garden at the moment, and these are the kind of thing I really like to catch. And so even if it didn't seem to match at first to draw the sun with the plant besides the egg pattern, I decided to went for it because it would be like the creative flow to follow. And then I had this idea that I would add a slightly bit of this pen sketching on each of my pages to make them more complete and more artistic. I thought the bulb garland that I just had in here the day before could really work well with the vintage feeling of this page, so I took another scrap piece of paper because there was not so much room left in order to draw them in here and adding them in the page in a more creative way. Then I did a page for the green and yellow rabbit page, sketching a bit of this white rabbit that Jeremy brought home the other day, and it's so cute. White rabbit!
Follow the white rabbit!
Yeah, follow.
The white rabbit wants a barbecue!
Yeah, they won't believe this is totally improvised. It is improvised! Oh,
yes!
Jeremy found a white rabbit this morning. Oh yeah, white rabbit in our garden. This is so cute. Thank you, my dear. Such a lovely gift. Yes, Rosie, you want to be in the video as well? You don't like rabbits. Rosie is really mean with rabbits. But this one will stay alive in our garden. If you want it or not. Yes. Oh. Yeah, I think Rosie is jealous. You're jealous, Rosie? So meet the white rabbit, Rosie and the rabbit. Yeah. Yeah, I am speaking the cat language sometimes. So I bought these Zebra Serrara vintage colors because I thought it could be really interesting that these colors are so, dark and not so colorful, but that they could be used a bit like colorful darks, so that, you give a bit of a nice, strong contrast to your drawing and still, show really much on the white paper, like if you are sketching with darks, but with being able to play with some color variations depending on the subject. So that's what I tried on these pages. And a bit of the small windmill and a few tulips, and even if it's a small addition to the page, I really like what it adds to it, add a really personal touch of my own life and my own surroundings. And here is finally how it turned out, after all this creative process. So my vintage themed Easter page with lovely garland that I put in our place just yesterday and that I was able to draw. This is quite fun, you know, when you follow the creative process and you have some interactive thing to do with your sketchbook. Then in here, this themed page with the rabbit and spring and the color coordinated with the yellow and the green and just a few touch of red, so I picked a bit of the same colors. And yes, I feel that with the drawings my pages are more complete. Maybe I will add a bit of something in here. I will keep working on them during Easter. And this one so ended up totally differently than what I thought, but I still really like it. And also this paper that I found just before making this shift in my creative process, Don't Worry Be Happy, goes so well with this you know, really cute smiley sun. And so I glued this a bit like a pocket so that I can put a bit in here a few memories from Easter, maybe a few photos or kind of wrapping paper or everything. So this is a bit of kind of a cheerful page. Maybe I will keep, you know, putting a few stickers here and there, a few decoration. And here is a bit how it went with my own watercolor paper and pattern. I really hope you will want to download and print them also and use them in your sketchbook, and I can't wait to see how it goes, so please tag me if you use them, of course. Thank you so much, happy Easter and happy creating as usual. See you!